Welcome back to the Exhibit Printing Studio. Today we're going to be doing a little tutorial conversation about fine art printing, archival printing, also known as Giclee printing. It's a common question for us, do you do Giclee printing? I would counter that with, what does Giclee actually mean? Reality is, it doesn't mean much. It's a term created by the industry, it's now become prevalent, in order to try and create a sense of quality around a print process that had a bad reputation in its early days. In the past, a lot of large format printers for photography used dye-based inks, and they weren't very light fast. In fact, they were awful a lot of the time. Now, print technology has improved exponentially, and as long as your printer is using good quality paper stocks and a good quality ink set, your prints will be Giclee, they will be archival. So by that I mean, the enemy of any print longevity is either sunlight or acidity. So when we talk about a good quality print stock, we're talking usually about a acid-free media. So that's a media that over time is going to remain acid-free. For that, it's essential that there's no wood pulp within that paper. Traditionally, paper is made of wood, I hear you think, but for fine art printing, paper is usually made of cotton. The advantage of cotton is over time, it doesn't become acidic and it doesn't yellow or spoil the print. When it comes to ink set, you need an ink set that is chemically neutral, and that means that over time, once again, there's no acidity within that in chemistry, and your print is going to theoretically last for many stocks now 150 years, and that should be long enough as an artist to keep any customer happy. Other than longevity, the other thing you should know about archival printing is that in order for it to remain truly archival, you shouldn't apply any irreversible processes to it. So that means when it comes to displaying your print, you pretty much have one option, which is to frame it. The second you mount it, the second you're using a T-sieve, are you confident that T-sieve has got no acidity in it over time? That's incredibly tricky. So an archival print usually needs to be framed. However, that doesn't mean that mounting your print onto dye bond, onto aluminium, onto foam-scented board, creating a canvas, that your print's going to look awful after 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. It just means that no one's going to rate it to last 150. Other than the way your colour is reproduced in a fine art print, the other important thing is quality. A fine art print is produced on an inkjet printer. It has a print head that races back and forth across the media as your stock is fed out of the printer. If the print head is not properly maintained, or the print is rushed through on a setting too fast for the quality you're looking to achieve, you can be left with a byproduct, flaw in the print, referred to as banding, and that description is pretty accurate as to what you will see. On close scrutiny of both of these prints, both this deep rich black and these areas of flat bright colour will look perfect to close inspection. You shouldn't settle for anything less. Lastly, I'm going to mention surface treatments to protect your prints. With a canvas, you can apply an archival varnish. This is rolled onto the top of the print. It has a slight sheen finish to it. It's quite hard to achieve a dead matte. That will make the surface of your print generally more durable, slightly more moisture resistant, and also prevent cracking of the canvas and ink pigment when you're stretching your piece around a stretcher bar. Fine art paper stock is slightly different. It's quite rare to treat the surface. They are quite delicate. However, if you treat it as a piece of art, as you should do, there's not really an excuse for something touching the surface of the print, so its delicacy should be irrelevant. I'd suggest that you keep the acid-free tissue paper that would usually be provided by your printers on the print at all time until it's in a plastic sleeve of a portfolio, or once it's travelled to the framers, trimmed, put in a frame, and from then on it should be safe. I hope you found some of this information useful. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at Exhibit Printing. Cheers.